Hi, if you don't know that I do a ministry at Bayside Church, middle school ministry, and today's video specifically I want to dedicate to my girls, my sixth graders, beautiful girls. But everybody welcome to watch, and I hope you will get something from this video, because I want to share how when I came to Jesus, I start to build my friendship with him, what the stories was, what was the points that actually I learned from who God is. And I think the first story that came up to my mind is, I remember I was working at Americans missionary family in Ukraine, and every morning I would come to their house and there would be like the sound of fresh brew coffee and the smell, and they would invite me to drink coffee in the morning, and we would discuss like what's going on in our lives. And one day it was winter, so I was working from my work, and I started conversation with God, and I said, God, oh, I really want to have this coffee machine. At this time, I lived by myself in an apartment. I have to pay rent and everything, so I didn't have money to buy all this stuff. And I was going and just said, God, I really want this coffee machine. I really want this kind of like a cozy feeling house with the smell of coffee. But I know I don't need it. It's not like necessary, something in the house, you know, you can live without it, so I don't need to waste my money on it. But I want to share with you because you're my friend, and I want to share with you just desire of my heart. You don't have to give it to me. I just want to share with you. I just want to say all my feelings, because I need to share it with someone. I know it's silly sound, and if I would share with somebody, it would be like sound so silly, you know, like, okay, I want this something. So I shared only with God all my desire. And can you imagine, later on Christmas Day, this family would give me a gift, and when I opened the Christmas gift, there would be coffee machine and 5 kind of different coffee. So I was kind of shocked, because nobody knew that I want this one. I never say them that I want this one, and I don't think they knew that I don't have it, you know. So it was big surprise for me that at that moment I learned that God cares about our really silly desires, our wishes, you know, and when a time comes, he would always like give us if it's kind of we need it at that moment. And I need it because it grew my faith in God. It grew who he is. It's not like I have to come to him with the like huge requests to ask, like if somebody's sick or something. So I can actually share everything in my heart, you know, and be honest, like what I want with this. Another my story, it was so I lived by myself, and I don't know why I didn't have alarm clock at that point. I don't know. And I needed to wake up somewhere so early, I think 6 a.m. or something. I don't remember where should I go, but I have to wake up at that time. So again, I was just praying and said, God, you know, I need to wake up. Please, can you wake up me at that time? Because I really have to be somewhere, I don't remember even. And in the morning, I woke up because I felt like somebody kicked me, you know, and I just opened my eyes, and it was 6 a.m., you know. I was kind of, again, surprised by how God answered these prayers. One more big one, it was when my sister invited me to move to America, and I was praying, and I really wanted to hear God's will about this. And I remember at church, I clearly kind of got my answer. And before I went to the pastor, like to get advice and something, and he said, do you understand, if you are not going right now, that doors would be closed because you got an invitation, you have to answer it. If you say no, there is no way in the future for you to move to America. And be honestly, it was really hard decision, because he said, okay, in the future you will get married, and what if you will have kids and you decide to go to America? But I opened my heart to God, and I said, no, God, if you want me to stay, just take any desire and just fill my heart with a new vision, kind of what I need to do here for you. And again, I just got peace, and I knew that I have to stay in Ukraine. So I decided to stay, and time passed by. I got married, I got my first kid, and my sister decided again. So I was at the point, to be honestly, in my life when I was looking for something to grow spiritually, because at that point my church, how to say it, it's like it wasn't enough for me, you know, to grow, and I knew it, and I just wanted something more. I started praying that God would give me direction, and I had desire to move to America, but in my head it was always like, I can't. But we decided to check again, so we prayed. I asked my sister to send an invitation to America, and we prayed with my husband at that time, and we said, okay, God, everything up to you. So we really want to live by faith. I opened my heart. I want to say why I want to move to America. I want to give future to my kids. I want that I would have more opportunities to grow spiritually, you know. And for God, there's nothing impossible, you know. So here I am in America. It shows again and again that if we follow the God's will and His guidance for our lives, He would provide everything that's necessary. But the most important is just little steps that would help you to learn who He is, you know, because when we read Bible, we really need to read it, because this is how we know the theory, I would say, you know, who God is, how He behaved in the past, you know, like what He did. But we need practical thing to figure out like who He is really, like become alive to us, you know, and not just theory that people would tell you, the pastor would tell you, the church would tell, the culture. A lot of stuff that, be honestly, sometimes play not a good role. Sometimes we assume like, oh, okay, this is a sin or something, you know. But when you start digging and learn who God is, you understand completely this is not correct, you know. This is not who He is, because I grew up in the house where there was more fear that if you did something wrong, you would go to hell. And I was always kind of scared, and I wasn't sure if I die, I will go to heaven, you know. But I came to Jesus and I started studying the Bible. And in the Bible that says, right, it's if you learn the truth will set you free. So we need to know who God is. That's why I asked you once, I said, girls, just buy a notebook and just write down all your prayer requests and see if God answers. So if God answered, just put it down, just write it down, how He answered, when He answered, and because you will forget it. But later on, when you have doubts or something hard in your life, you will open this notebook and you will see all the thing that God provided, that God provide with everything you need for this request you asked, you know. And step by step, by little step, don't fear, like ask questions to God, have some doubts, because through the doubts, if you are honest, this is the key word I would say, you have to be honest, because you need to understand that God see your heart. God see what you really not even think, but you feel, because sometimes we think different than we feel, and feelings is kind of what we really feel about it. So be honest with God when we are looking, when we are searching, when we are asking the questions, because as I said in my testimony previously, right, I was asking, if you exist, just show me yourself, just show me that I can see you, that I can believe in you, because I want it. And God, just by these little things, showed me his way and who he is, and my knowledge just opens up just a little bit more about who he is. And this is just incredible, you know, because in the Psalm, in the Bible, I think it's Psalm 34, it says, taste and see how God is good. So the taste is a verb, it's action verb. You need to do something to taste it, you know, and you need to put something, to ask God something that you would see the answers, you know. And I really wish you that you would practice all that. You're growing in a God, you know, just you will give God chance to show who he is and be in your life. Because for me right now, it's everything, I would say, you know, because whenever happened in my life, I saw what he did in the past, and it's always keep me kind of on track. And I always keep on faithfulness. I said, God, I know you're faithful, because you show your faithfulness in the past. You show me how you love me, how you care about me in a little thing, you know, like I have so many things. I just want to share one more. It just was incredible. So I was in Ukraine again, and my niece was in Siberia, and it was kind of really far and expensive. And we were talking with this family, and I just shared that I have a friend, and because she asked me, like, what are you going to do Christmas and New Year? Do you have a friend? And I said, oh, my friend in Siberia. So, and on Christmas, she gave me the Christmas toy. Actually, it's somewhere on my Christmas tree, and it's just a wooden bowl. So I was kind of, okay, beautiful, like Christmas decoration, perfect. So I said thank you, and she said no, open it. So, and it's surprisingly just like you turn it and you open it, and it was $100. It was exactly that ticket both way, back and forth. I started crying because I was so touched by this, because God provided, God knew at that moment that I felt so lonely. I felt so, I don't know, miserable or something. So, and God just, through these people, just blessed me. There's my dog smoking. Blessed me with this love, and always showed me how he really cares about my feelings, you know, because I am the person, I am a visual person, I am practical person. I need to see, I need to touch, I need understand, you know. And God just really speaks to me at that level, because what I want to say that all of us, he created differently. And what I love about God, that he speaks to us differently. There is no, for him, it's not a crowd, you know, and he's just, okay, there is for you like something, and everybody has to follow and do, and he would do the same way kind of toward each person. No, he cares specifically about you. He created you, and he knows how he created. Are you introvert or extrovert? Or you are shy or more kind of emotional? He knows all of this, and he cares about it. He loves about it, because he created all these characteristics in you, just that you would do something that he created you for, you know, to serve to him, to worship him, to do something, to fulfill your life, to feel your life, how to say, it's like a life, you know, like you feel his connections, his presence to you through, and he will speak to you through this nature of you, you know, your character, your emotions. I know for some people he speaks through dreams, for another he speaks something differently, you know. For me, he speaks my language, and he always say that I love you, I care about you. I want to share the last one. It's here. So last year we were buying a house, and we didn't plan to buy a house. So we rented a house in Rancho Cordova a year ago, and something came up to me. So I started walking through the house, and I was looking at things, and it would kind of came to my mind, like, okay, if we are moving, what I need to get rid of, what I need to sell, what I need to give away, what I need to throw. You know, I was all the time, I was going through the house, through the garage, you know, and checking all the things in my house, and I would just have the thought, and I'm like, this is kind of weird, be honest, like, we are not moving anywhere. And later on, my kids would come to me and like, Mom, we don't want to live anymore in the rented house. We want our own. We don't have any tree on the backyard. We can't dig. We can't build anything because it's like not ours. We can't do anything in this house. And I remember I said, okay, let's gather. Let's see it. So I took a notebook and a pen and said, okay, let's put on a list, you know, all the qualities we want to see in our dream house. So I put dream house, and okay, first, big property, second, big windows, third, like cozy house or something. So and they would put, okay, we want like for each of us personal room, because they shared room before. And so we will put all the things. And I said, okay, right now we have the list. We will put on the refrigerator, and we will pray that God will show us when we need to buy a house. And if you don't know, last year it was crazy year to buy a house. And when I start talking to my husband, and he said like, no, it's impossible. First, it's just so expensive, and second, I don't have a job, so nobody will sell us a house, because he was finishing the nursing program at college. And so we kind of like, okay, no, that's me, no. We will live in a rented house until it's time. So we put on the refrigerator the list, and we start praying. So right away we said, God, you know the best time for us to buy a house. 2 days later, landlord came to us and said, I'm so sorry, but owner decided to sell a house. You have 2 months to move out. And you can imagine, she was kind of referring to me, and she said, I'm so sorry, Natalia, I know you are angry, because it's like second time the owner selling the house, second year, we move in each year, and she's like, I'm so sorry, you would be angry. But you can imagine, I had the smile on my face, because in my heart I was laughing even, because I didn't expect that fast to get the answer from God. And I started sharing with her. I said, no, I'm not angry, be honestly. And I shared that 2 days ago we put a list and we pray. And I shared my testimony, even like, and she's Arabic person, like, and So I shared to her the testimony, how God provide everything. So, and I'm not angry. I am actually so happy to see what God is preparing for us. You know, I just want to see, at that moment, I was feeling like, okay, now I want to sit on the back seat and just see everything like He would provide. It's not necessary. It was easy time, so I was sitting and just looking how God everything doing. No, it was hard time. It was really hard time because we couldn't find house even until we have to move out from our rented house. We prayed, we were looking, we searching houses, we found 3 or 4 houses, but it went on the market. Some people bought it with the cash, so there is no chance, you know, to buy for us. And there was a moment where it was like, okay, tomorrow we are going to be homeless because we don't have any idea where to go. We don't have house. Yuri changed so many jobs during this, so we kind of like were promising that okay, we don't have this job, but there is a paper that we will have this job, kind of. So he asking the boss to give this kind of paper, and they're like, we don't usually do this. So they did for us. God provide everything. And all this time I was just praying, and I'm like, God, give me the peace that higher any understanding, like my understanding, and please help me to see everything with your eyes, how you see, not panicking, not like be scared or something. Just give me peace. And so many people ask like, how you do it? How you do it? I'm like, it's just God. He gave me peace. Every day we had this list of worship songs that would going on and on to keep my spirit up, you know, like that. I can't remember right now, but we had this list. It's still on my YouTube, you know, list of songs that keep my spirit up. And we said, God, we have to move out, and only you know where we are going. So we decided to go to the hotel, and we had some dates, like from this to this. It's kind of, I think it's 1.5 week to go to the hotel. So it was specific dates. Can you imagine that? My friend texted me and said, we are leaving for the vacation. Would you live in our house and water plants and just watch the house? And she said the dates that specifically we decided to go to the hotel. She said from this date to that date, and she didn't know because I didn't post anything about it. What would you see? I saw only God's hand providing with everything. So we lived at their house, and again we have to move out because at that moment the house was in the process. We found the house and we were in the process, and again we decided to go to the hotel. But another person contacted us and said, okay, we have a house and we decided to rent it out, but not right now. We have to kind of clean out and everything. If you want, you can live as long as you need it. It was a huge miracle. So we moved to this house. We lived there until we bought this house. This house also was a miracle because we wanted so many houses, and this house we found, we like it, and we decided, okay, down payment. We don't have much money for down payment, and we decided, okay, instead of 20% of down payment, we will give 5% of down payment. And our realtor said, okay, if we do this, we are not giving any extra money, you know, to buy a house. It was like people giving more. So we decided, okay, not. So we're giving on 5% down payment. We're not giving any extra money. If it's our house, this is our house. I don't remember how much longer. So I got a call from my realtor, and she said they accepted the offer. I'm like, whom? Whose offer? And she's like, your offer. I'm like, seriously? It's like unbelievable. It's not real right now. And there we are in this beautiful house. We enjoy the view. We have 2.5 acres of land. Kids have their own room. We have big windows. We see forest. We have forest. We have animals. We have everything we ask for. To actually, one of the things, it was like big living room that I love host people, to gather people here, and we do it. And I love it when people come to my house. We had so many people through this year in our house, and I'm so blessed by all these people. But mostly I just can't stop praising my God, who is incredible, who is beyond understanding. You know, we are people and He is God. And I just wish all of you that you would give a chance to God to show Himself in your life, you know, who He is, how He provides, how He cares, you know, like, because sometimes I think, who am I that He cares? He cares that much about me. I'm no one from nowhere. But God loves me and hears me every time, through any circumstances, through happy times and through hard times. He is always there for me. Oh, I forgot to share one more thing. Last one, the happy one. Before my marriage, on my birthday, it's December 11th, so it's soon. I was always feeling so lonely. And I was always asking, like, God, please, I want to feel you. I want to see you this day, that you love, you're here, you're close, that I wouldn't feel alone this day. Can you please send me the snow? And everybody, my friends who been there for me all this year, they knew that would be sun and beautiful weather, but at some point there would be snow on that day. Everybody knew on December 11th there would be snow whenever you go. And for me it was like a huge miracle, because at that day I knew that God would send snow and I would feel so amazingly, because I love snow. I love the magical of it, you know, the magic. And God would always send it to me, you know, and like, until I got married. When I got married, I said, God, thank you so much that for all these years you sent it to me. You've been so faithful to me, and your love is just unbelievable, incredible, huge, and I love you. But now I have my partner and I have a friend with me, and you don't need to do it anymore. And it stops. Sometimes I have it, and it's remind me just of God's love that He showed me all these years. So I encourage you to buy a notebook, to write down everything that God does in your life, and time to time, just read it and see how God is just incredibly caring about you, loving you. And I don't have words for this. So God bless you and Merry Christmas.